The news this morning that might impact us is that Tampa Bay and wide receiver Mike Evans have agreed on a 2-year extension worth $52 million. So, quick math, 52 divided by 2, Gator, that's $26 million per season. How does that impact Amon-Ra's ongoing negotiations? With more reporting that the two sides are at the table, does Amon-Ra unquestionably get more than $26 million per?
No, I don't think he unquestionably gets it, but I think we have to be prepared that he could.
Mm-hmm.
This is a short-term deal for Mike Evans. I think there's $35 million guaranteed. But when we're looking at what Amon-Ra's production is, it's fantastic. It's gotten better each year. Last year at 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns, 119 receptions. He's the go-to guy for this team. He is one of the best in the league. And Evans has been remarkably consistent throughout his career. He's been at the top of his game for years. Is he the best receiver in the game? No. And he just got paid. So I'm a little nervous about how much it's going to take to get Amon-Ra. I don't know. We have no idea what he's asking, what his agent will ask for. I mean, if you're his agent, if you're trying to squeeze money, I mean, you start the conversation at the top. You start at $30 million a year and see where the Lions are at. And somehow you negotiate to the middle. But what is the middle going to be? I mean, the Lions have to make a legitimate offer. And a legitimate offer doesn't start at $23 million a year. Not after Mike Evans got 26. So I don't. This could be interesting. What he's going to get.
Kang, I want your 2 cents on this. How does this impact Amon-Ra, the 2-year, $52 million deal with Mike Evans?
I think every wide receiver contract right now impacts Amon-Ra and Lions fans. If you're, obviously you're paying attention to what the Lions do with all their money. I mean, the top tier, there's so many good receivers in the NFL now. You can say, oh, he's not a top 5 receiver. Well, then he's in the top 10, whatever. I think the money is going to be very similar for all these guys. CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans. When his contract comes up, he's going to be probably $30 million plus. I think be prepared for $26, $28 million. And if it's anything under, I think you're happy because you save some money to, help the cap and go get other guys. But yeah, I'm prepared as a fan to see a number between $24 to $28 million, to be honest with you.
It's funny. I was thinking about this today because, and you correct me if I'm wrong here. If you are we're all interested in what they're going to do here. There is Amon-Ra, the football player, that we don't want to see the Lions next year without.
Right.
We definitely want the football player. There is the free agent pool of money that they have, and that there's other players that they want to sign. So you don't have unlimited resources to sign Amon-Ra. So you've got Amon-Ra, the football player. You've got other free agents you want to be able to bring back. And the third thing is you want your locker room happy. You want your players to be here and be playing under contracts that they feel like that they are well compensated. So let's talk about these things. Amon-Ra, the football player. There's no question you could pay him enough to bring him back. It's just how high are you willing to go?
Mm-hmm.
The other players that you want to re-sign, that's a how low are you willing to go Amon-Ra? Because you don't want to sign him for one penny more than what you have to because that's a penny you're taking away from somebody else. And then there's the whole happy locker room thing, which is a real thing. It's part of the culture. So you're trying to thread this needle of keeping everybody happy, paying them what they're worth, which you hope is the smallest amount possible. Does that make sense? There's this perfect number out there.
It's a balancing act, man.
But what you might think is the floor, by you, I mean the organization might think this is the lowest we want to sign him for. Might be nowhere close to the lowest he's willing to agree to. So if you're like, all right, we really would love to get him at $25 million a year.
And his agent's like, yeah, by the way, Amon-Ra, our floor is $28 a year.
Yeah. And we're not going below that. And if you're not willing, then we're perfectly fine with going to free agency. So you really hope that the lines cross somewhere, your floor and his floor, And maybe you have to move off your floor and he needs to move a little bit below his, whatever it is. But you've got these things that are pulling you in opposite directions. If there was no salary cap, you wouldn't have things pulling you in opposite directions. It'd be up to ownership to make the commitment and just go spend whatever it takes. But if you lowball him and don't give him what he wants, now you got a situation where the player isn't necessarily thrilled going into a free agent year. So, and that player's motivated to prove that he's worth every penny, which is cool, but maybe he carries ill will into the season and plays under a contract that he feels like he's way underpaid.
This contract Mike Evans signed is kind of scary. And this is a guy who's a 10-year veteran in the league. He's never had fewer than 1,000 yards receiving in his career in a single season.
Yep.
He's had multiple years. In fact, he's had 5 years. Half of that time has been spent with double-digit touchdown totals in the season. The year he's coming off, he had 1,255 yards receiving this year on 79 receptions for 13 touchdowns. How does that compare with Amon-Ra? Amon-Ra had 1,500 yards receiving. He had 119 receptions. He had fewer touchdowns with 10, but it's still double digits, and his numbers got better each year the first 3 years he's been in the league. Mike Evans is 30 years old. He's north of 30 now, and he just got paid.
He just got the fourth highest receiver contract in the game based on average annual value.
I mean, I'm kind of stunned at the total that he got. All right, I mean, I guess you could argue he's worth it, and Mike Evans is a great receiver. But remember when we were talking about, hey, let's how about the Lions trade for Mike Evans?
Right.
I mean, look at this total. $26 million a year for a 30-year-old wide receiver. Yes, he's productive. I'm scared. King, I'm scared what St. Brown's going to get.
That's why just be prepared. He's going to get his. Listen, no one wants to overpay for anything in life, right? You, I, sports organizations. But you look at it, are you overpaying for talent? Are you overpaying for a locker room guy? I think St. Brown's the perfect combination of both for this organization. I don't think they will, quote-unquote, overpay for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Mike Evans is Tampa Bay's Calvin Johnson. Okay, that's why part of why he got that huge deal is
same team his whole career.
He's going to be an instant first ballot Hall of Famer. He's been incredibly productive his entire career. He didn't want to go anywhere. They didn't want to go in there anywhere. Does he get this money elsewhere? I don't know, but it was worth it for that team and that organization because he's talent, he's locker room guy. So I think don't be too scared by that. I think Mike Evans, he deserves it. Like I said, I think he's there, Calvin Johnson. I think St. Brown's going to come in probably pretty high, but I'm encouraged because they've already met. According to the reports, the Lions have met with St. Brown's agent already. They want to get a deal done. I think a deal gets done.
I'm not sure how you get Amon-Ra for less than what Mike Evans got. I just don't see that being a reasonable ask.
I don't think they ask him for that low. I think they give him what he wants.
If he were to, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument that he signs a 4-year, $100 million contract, less annual than what Evans gets, but pretty damn close to it. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if during the press conference of the signing that St. Brown says specifically, I know that I could have gotten more on the market, but I want to do what's best for the team. I'm getting paid handsomely, but I want to help get other guys here. The other thing is this. This is the first big contract that's coming up, right, that they're going to have to give out monster money to. And this is they're doing this one, they're prioritizing before Jared Goff. As more contracts come up over the next couple of years, and you try to finagle a way to fit them all in, the ones you sign first are the ones those are the players you go to say, hey, can we restructure? And players are open to restructuring because it means more guaranteed money. And it like if you look at an NFL contract and you think that fourth year, hey, I got it signed for a fourth year, but it's really not a guaranteed type thing. It becomes guaranteed, and players will take the money on the back end because they know they're going to get it. So they may end up each year as we move forward from this that they'll have more opportunities with more players to restructure, and this continues this crazy Tetris game of figuring out the cap space in the NFL.
248-539-9797. Phone calls and feedback coming up. Amon-Ra, I mean, if he wants more than $26 million more and not like $26 million and $1, I would imagine he asked for a significant amount more than what Mike Evans just signed for today. I mean, does anybody balk at that